Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to Teams at 10. And we have lovely Jennifer with us again today. Hello, Jen.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
And today we wanted to share with you a reflection opportunity, which we believe, and lots of evidence to back us up, is one of the most important leadership practices that you can implement if you haven't already got it in place. And I guess you can think of reflection as a daily habit, a weekly habit, to really get you sort of stepping away from the detail and the weeds, if you like, what's going on down there. My favorite analogy is the dance floor and the balcony. So you get away from the dance floor and up on the balcony and have a good look down at what's actually going on. So a bit of reflection. So Jennifer's going to kick us off with a little bit of the mind setting that's necessary for reflection, and also some of the background about that to set us up. And then I'm going to give you a little practice that you can implement to try reflection for yourself. So Jen, over to you.
Thanks, Anna. I'm going to start with a little story. My mentor I've mentioned before, Richard Strozzi Heckler, he's a pioneer in embodied leadership and performance mastery. And he highlights that we humans are always practicing something. And if you think about it, we practice how we speak to others, we practice being grateful or focusing on what's not working. We practice how we stand and breathe. We practice how we think about the future. In fact, he says that we're incapable of not practicing. And our practices, which are often unconscious, become, for better or for worse, either positive habits or limiting habits. So what are you practicing as a leader? And are your practices aligned with who you say you want to be as a leader or where you want to go as a leader? And to answer these kinds of really important questions, you need the foundational practice that Anna mentioned, that we at PM see as one of the primary ingredients to exemplary leadership, and that is self-reflection. So what's so great about self-reflection? In short, it will make you a more successful leader, whether formally leading others or leading your own lives. And I love this quote from management guru Peter Drucker. He said, "Follow effective action with quiet reflection. And from the quiet reflection will come even more effective action." So I like to envision, like Anna said, moving between the dance floor and the balcony, or from being lost in the woods and then getting the helicopter view. So moving back and forth in these ways, it gives us perspective taking and meaning making and adds vitality to leadership, all crucial to leader and team development. So we have a couple of suggestions for preparing and getting into the mindset for self-reflection. And then, as Anna said, she's going to take you through a purposeful self-reflection practice you can add to your toolkit. All right, so first of all, slow down. If you have a bias toward constant action and results, this might be challenging at first, but it's well worth it. Set a regular time and stick to it. Start small. 10 minutes of self-reflection is better than nothing, and then work up from there. And adopt a mindset of not knowing, of open-mindedness, and the one we really love here, curiosity. And then take personal responsibility. The process can lead to valuable insights and new action, and can also lead to uncomfortable feelings like vulnerability and defensiveness. So practicing tolerance for these feelings is really important because they help us learn and grow. And also, while you're self-reflecting, remember to focus on your wins and how you can expand on them, just as much as on what needs to change or mistakes you've made. And remember to bring compassion as well as candidness and rigor to your self-reflection session. And then finally, ask for help if you're struggling with it. It's not always really clear how to do it. So a trusted colleague or coach could be a great thought partner to get you going. Just like Anna's going to be right now. She's going to be our thought partner in taking you through a really great tool that we use and you can use in your toolkit. Over to you, Anna.
Thanks, Jen. What a great setting up. So I want to share with you a model that we used for reflection. It was actually created by one of our colleagues, a fabulous Gillian Daru. And I'll tell you a little story about where it came from. And it's got a 3-step process, which is D for discovery, R for reflection, and A for action, DRA. And Gillian actually created this process when she was in Norway, and she was learning a bit of Norwegian, and the verb in Norway, dra, D-R-A, means to go somewhere. And I guess one of the things that I think is if you want to go somewhere with your leadership, reflection is how to do it. So I feel like there's a nice little link there between what it means in Norwegian, where it was born, and what it can mean for you as a leader. So what does discovery, reflection, action actually look like? So as Jennifer said, you can just take a few moments. You might take 2 minutes for each segment. And discovery is really, it might be you've been in a workshop and it's what did you learn? You might have had a difficult conversation and, what did you discover inside that conversation? So you're looking, or it could even be in your week, what did you discover this week? So it's up to you where you place your attention. It could be on a tricky relationship that you're struggling with. But the first question is, what did you discover? What has become apparent to you? It could be something that you've observed of others. The self-reflection is, what did I observe in myself? And I guess that's the most important first point. And I wanted to share a little bit of my own reflection with you. So hopefully you've got an example that you can work through. So I had an interesting meeting the other day, and I felt at the time of the meeting that I was going to explode on the inside. I felt really, really tense. And when I sat down and did what is my discovery, I realized, I thought what was going on was I was getting really irritated by being in the detail. And it actually wasn't that. When I sat down and really thought about it, it was the discovery that I was really worried that we were going to have a conflict coming out of this discussion. That was what was actually going on for me. So it was actually not what I thought it was on the surface. It was something deeper underneath. That was my initial discovery. Then I went into reflection. Wow, so I've discovered this about what was going on in that session. So what does that mean? Wow, where does this link to? Where does that come from? So your reflection is all about, now you've made the discovery. What is that telling you? Where might you go with that? What do you think is the root cause of that? Where did it come from? So really sitting back, and again, as Jennifer said, on the balcony or in the helicopter, and having a good look down at maybe your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings about the situation. And the last little piece is action. And again, if you're really going to, embody reflection and bring that into how you're being as a leader, you need to do something with it. It's not just sit down, have a nice little think, job done, move on. It's, what are you going to implement coming out of that reflection? And for me, in my little situation that I was having last week, what I realized is that I needed to ask for some help. I needed to go to my colleagues and say, if you notice me behaving like this, I want you to call that out. I needed to think about what techniques I could use to calm myself and center myself when I was in those tricky situations. So I had a list of about 10 actions for me that came out of that 5-minute sort of reflection process. So again, it might be 10 things, it might be one thing, but how are you going to actually move forward so that you learn and take away and implement something from your reflection practice? So again, what we would really suggest is that you set up at the beginning of the week, just maybe a few minutes of planning. What do you want to achieve for the week, or the day, depending how large or small you want to think about it. And then at the end, again, set yourself maybe 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you think you can do to actually go through the discovery, reflection, action process. Start really, really small. You might want to give yourself a minute for each of the elements and just write a few little lines. And you will be amazed at what you take out. Just give yourself that little bit of breathing space and slow down, as Jennifer was saying. So one of the other things that we would strongly suggest is it is an excellent practice to actually write this down, hard copy in a journal. I have a little journal in my pen and I write that down in there. Because it will embed into your brain more effectively. So a lot of people are typing. If you want to do it on a stylus on a tablet, great, but we'd advise you not to actually type it. So writing as much as you can will embed that more into your brain. Okay, so discovery, reflection, action. And perhaps what you can do is replay the video and you can just listen to the discovery piece, pause, and then do your little discovery, then move on to reflection, pause, do that down, and then action. And then you've got it all wrapped up and you'll be ready to go. Jennifer, any closing comments before we wrap up for today?
Well, for those of you, wow, look at you, Anna, right on the bell. For those of you who like a little statistics and research around, how important is this really? I read a research yesterday that said in a call center in the UK, they had one group of employees do a self-reflection practice for 15 minutes at the end of each day on lessons learned throughout the day, and a control group who did nothing, just carried on as normal. And within 10 days, the group that was doing the self-reflection was performing 23% better. So there you go.
Amazing. So if you're looking for a 20% increase, this is the process for you. Oh, thanks, Jen. I love a bit of evidence to back up what we're recommending.
Yeah.
So that's all we have for you today. We hope you find that really useful. Love to hear how you go with giving it a try. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.
Bye.